Similar to many other countries in Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka is a conservative country that prides itself on its traditional values. To make your stay on this beautiful island safe, memorable, and trouble-free, take note of this list of things to avoid. But please don't understand us wrong, visiting Sri Lanka is safe, fun and totally worth it. Sri Lankan people are famous for their hospitality, and we have met some of the kindest and most welcoming people in Sri Lanka. If you follow common sense and stick to the old saying, "When in Rome, do as the Romans do," you will be perfectly fine. Anyway, here are our top don'ts, to make your trip even more enjoyable. Don't drink the tap water. In Sri Lanka, please use bottled water for drinking and even toothbrushing, as tap water may contain microorganisms that your body is not used to. You may find most locals drink tap water, but you had better not take a health risk while traveling. And don't settle for a salad if your tummy is sensitive, as it is very likely the greens will have been rinsed in tap water. Don't ride an elephant in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has more than a dozen or so national parks where an estimated 5,000 to 6,000 elephants roam freely. However, there are also elephants in captivity, and they are mostly used in religious processions as well as riding camps. Elephants are broken to train them to allow riders on their backs using a variety of cruel methods, and many are not fed properly as well as kept in chains. Please don't support this business and be a responsible traveler. You can head to one of Sri Lanka's many national parks to see wild Asian elephants instead. Alternatively, you can also visit the elephant transit home in Adawilawe to see orphaned baby elephants. The same goes for visiting turtle sanctuaries. The standards of care for wild turtles are not yet well regulated in Sri Lanka, and many places try to pass as a legitimate ethical facility just by sticking the word "sanctuary" in their name. So do your due diligence and make sure the place you visit places the welfare of turtles and eggs above tourist demands and photos. Give space to wildlife. Things can get seriously dicey in some of the more popular national parks. Respect the animals by keeping a safe distance, and don't encourage your driver to get too close or to chase wild animals. Some irresponsible or less experienced safari drivers in Sri Lanka may equate a better line of sight with more tips. Assure them that that is not the case, and encourage your driver to stick to any marked paths and roads in national parks. Don't touch dogs, monkeys or any other wild animals. Unfortunately, rabies does still exist in Sri Lanka. It is common for vets to clip dogs' ears to show that they have been vaccinated, and most domesticated dogs will have also been vaccinated. However, you can never be too safe. Most street dogs in Sri Lanka are nothing but lovely, but avoid touching them unless you know for certain and without a shadow of a doubt that they have been vaccinated against rabies. If you are bitten by a dog or even a monkey, go directly to the hospital. Stay safe on the road. Though scooter rentals are not as big or common in Sri Lanka as they are in places like Bali and Thailand, you might still be able to rent scooters here and there from private owners, especially along the southern coast. Make sure you always wear a helmet and drive safely. Bus, truck and tuk-tuk drivers in Sri Lanka often drive like madmen. Just because you are in a small town or village doesn't mean that you should let your guard down. So, don't cross any roads without looking both ways. Check the price. Don't hop into taxis and tuk-tuks before agreeing on the rate or on using the taximeter. This will help you to avoid bad surprises at the end of your trip. Don't bring up or get involved in political conversation. The Civil War only ended a few years ago, so it is still very raw and emotional for many people impacted by it. So I'd advise being respectful to its political past. It's still a delicate subject, and, unless you're a scholar on Sri Lankan politics and policy, it's best to stick to the simple stuff. Dress accordingly. Sri Lanka is still relatively modest, despite being a popular beach destination in the region. The primary religion is Buddhism, so be mindful of your attire when you visit temples or walk around town. Cover your shoulders and knees. Don't worry, bikinis and other swimwear are fine when you're actually on the beach. Respect the local culture. Cover your legs and shoulders, and take off shoes and hats if you are entering a Buddhist temple. Do not mistreat Buddhist images, statues or other artifacts. Don't mock the Buddha, and don't pose for photographs with your back facing the Buddha. Don't take snaps without asking first. Before you take a photo, make sure that you check that it is okay to do so. Some places, such as museums, sometimes require you to buy a permit. It is best to ask before taking photos of people, especially children. In some areas you might find signs not allowing you to take pictures at all. So make sure you respect those. If you are hoping to fly your drone in Sri Lanka, you will need to register it with the Civil Aviation Authority in advance or else risk being fined by the police and your drone confiscated. Any drone that has a camera will need to be registered via the official website and approval takes approximately 10 working days. Anyway, use common sense and you will have a great time in Sri Lanka. Enjoy your trip and see you next time.